This is no ordinary work van. Most tradesmen who travel the country end up in hotels, Airbnbs or digs when they're working away. But here's the thing, every night you're leaving your van out in some car park, full of tools, while there is a massive crime epidemic going on. Vans are getting broken into left, right and centre, and I didn't want to take that risk anymore. I wanted a setup where I could work, but also live. A van that isn't just transport, but security, comfort and practicality, all in one. Somewhere I could sleep, eat and chill after a long day, without worrying about what's happening to my kit outside. So over the last few months I've been planning, building and converting my van into something that's completely different from the standard tradesman setup. And in this video I'm going to show you exactly what I've done so far and why this is already the most practical van I've ever owned. So come along on this journey with me, let me show you around the van, and later on hopefully you can help me with some other bits I still need to do. This van isn't just for work anymore. It's a work van, a camper, a home on wheels. Let me show you how I've completely rethought how a tradesman's van can work. Traditionally what you'll find in a tradesman's van is racking all the way down the sides. I've rethought this for several reasons. One, I just think it's a complete waste of space. So what I decided to do, to keep a little bit of racking either side, and I'm just keeping the stuff here that isn't really valuable, and everything tool-wise and things that need securing, I've hidden underneath the floor. Let me show you. So what I've done is I've raised the floor throughout the entire van, and I've had these pull-out drawers installed. I've had armour guard ones, which are metal, and I've also got these wooden ones installed, all safe and secure. These drawers don't go all the way to the back of the first section of the raised floor. There is another compartment which I'll show you a little bit later on, and you can't access these drawers from it. Inside here I've got hand tools and test equipment all locked away, and what you need to remember about this design is when people break into vans, they need to open up the doors. As long as you've got this van backed up to a wall, they're never getting into this, ever. The same applies for this drawer here. Plenty of room to put materials and bits and bobs. And the other thing I decided to do was to line all of the drawers the same as inside here with this orange gym mat flooring, and what that does is it stops everything from in here from rattling about. The front section of the van, the floor has been raised, but it's lower in order to give me this additional headroom. And what I've got underneath here is a work table and my hop-up. I worked alongside Yoke Vans, who done my original racking. You can see the video of the original racking in the description below. And what we've done was remove the front section and redesigned and built this. This first pull-out drawer doubles up as a work area, and then if I take the lid off, what I have here is the most important thing for any tradesman, a tea setup. We've got the tea bags, the sugars, the kettle and an induction hob. Once again, lined all the drawers with the orange gym matting. All the materials that I need to carry out my job are stored here. All my switches and sockets, breakers, I've got junction boxes, all of these bits here, screws, plugs, fixings, everything that I need has been minimalised, organised and put away. There is no need to carry loads and loads of gear. This is not a storeroom. I just take the materials that I need on a daily basis to the jobs that I go to. By organising it in this fashion, I do have to take materials like bigger cable drums, but I have room here to put that in. So where everything is organised perfectly, I've always got plenty of space to carry out my job. When you have a van, one of the smaller ones like this, a Transit Custom, you really need to maximise all of the areas for storage, which is why I have come up with some additional storage areas, including this one here. I'm not sure what I'm going to use this drawer for yet, but it's either going to be for tools, or when I'm staying away I can put some cooking accessories there, or clothing or something like that. I'm probably going to use it for the camping side of things. Underneath these cushions I have another secret storage area. In this back corner, I have a massive area where I can put some tools that I don't really use very often. Lots of space, and I've really maximised it with this design. With the build itself, it's a little bit mix and match now. The original racking is this mesh ply here, and where it's been modified, we now have this hex ply, which is actually a really nice finish. And that just shows how well that yoke vans work. I could not have done this without yoke vans, because they've done extremely thorough drawings, and we spent a long time planning this whole thing, how this was all going to work, to tie in with the existing racking system and the raised floors. I also have two other secret compartments here. Inside here I just keep bits of cable, and I've got a hoover that never comes out. And then this side I've just got my digging materials, ground sheets, cable cover tape, and some other bits and bobs. So if you're wondering about, is there enough room to store all of your materials and tools, with this sort of setup, if you think about it, the square area of a van is actually massive. There is plenty of room. If you lift everything up, there is so much room to hide and store all of your tools and materials. I also come up with a solution for those longer materials that we carry, like trunking and conduit and bits and bobs like that. Let me show you. I have an open section here, which goes all the way through to the front of the van. So that part is here. So I can still get a 2.4 length piece of trunking inside here. Bearing in mind, this is the long wheelbase Transit Custom. Down here we have a 2.4 kilowatt AFRI battery. I am running all of my lights off this. I can charge my batteries off it, and I've also installed a solar panel on the roof, which keeps this topped up at all times. So really, technically, I'm completely off grid, and I never need to use customers' electricity for anything at all. The other super annoying thing about having raised floors in vans is you have to like crawl around everywhere, and there's no headroom. So what I thought to do was to increase that headroom by installing a bifolding bed. Now I can stand up quite happily, and this is making my work life much better, especially as I'm getting a lot older now. So no more crawling around for SOTA. So why have I created this living area in my work van? I travel the country carrying out electrical work, mainly EV installs, for people who find me on YouTube, and I spend a fortune on Airbnbs. Also, vans get broken into every single day at hotels, and I'm far too paranoid to leave my van in a hotel car park. So by doing this, I can now eat, sleep, live, work in my van, and no one's breaking into it, not while I'm in it anyway. Let me show you the bedroom. This is where I plan to sleep at night. There is plenty of room here for two people really, and where I'm like 6'9", there's still plenty of room for me here. We have 3 windows in total, and also a panoramic zip all the way around, so if it is an absolutely gorgeous day, I can pin the whole of this front side up, relax and have my dinner on the roof of the van. The advantages of this for me is this is going to give me more freedom to work wherever I need to work, take on jobs in places I wouldn't take on jobs before. But also, in the evenings, I now have the opportunity to explore the local area, rather than just sitting in a Premier Inn. So, for me, this is all just part of my personal adventure. What I decided to do was to buy some of these pregnancy pillows, which are going to double up as my pillow to sleep on. If you want a full costing breakdown of how much all of this has cost me, let me know in the comments. And if there's enough of you, I'll put that video together. One of my favourite things that yoke vans come up with for me was this fold-up table. I gave them the measurements for my laptop so it fits perfectly, and I have a little groove here to put a pen if I need it, like for my iPad pen. And then if I'm not working, I can have my dinner in the shelter or looking at the beautiful views. But I still have an awful lot to do on this van, and I think I'm going to need your help with it. Let me run you through what else I need to do, and I'd like some advice if you've got experience in this sort of thing. As the winter is now drawing in, I face a couple of issues. Firstly, I have no heating in here, so I need to work out whether to put a diesel heater in here or come up with something else which is going to integrate with my battery, which leads me on to the next problem. Because we're running out of daylight now, the solar panels are not going to perform as well as they have during the summer. So I'm thinking about installing a leisure battery. The leisure battery will charge off the car battery, and then I can use that to power the lighting and other light electrical goods. That will take the strain off my existing battery. So if you have any advice on vehicle battery systems, let me know in the comments, definitely please. Two other things. One, apart from these, I have no windows in here. So do I do the deed and cut this door out and put a window in here? Or is that just going to damage the integrity of the van security wise? Because I obviously don't want this van to be a target, but if I take all the sign writing off, cut that out, and then if someone looks in, it does just look like a camper. So cut windows out or don't, not really sure yet. And finally, really back onto security, I'm thinking about installing like some CCTV system in here so I can see what's going on outside of the van when I'm inside, because I've still got my bulkhead in and I've got no idea what's going on whatsoever. So CCTV could be a good investment and a good little project for me to work on. It's that time again where I need to say a massive thank you to everyone who has supported me on this journey by buying me a coffee. I truly do appreciate it. And that includes John Ross Murray, super generous. Hi Adam, thanks for all the videos you have posted and such great advice given. I really enjoy watching them and have picked up a lot of tricks and saved a lot of tools to my basket. With an electrical background but now mainly office based, your videos give a relatable insight into the many challenges and situations you come across as an electrician. If you're ever passing through the north of Scotland, then make your way up to the Isle of Lewis. Plenty of EV chargers needed installed up here. Here's a wee thank you for the work you do, and they're online. Regards, John Ross. John, absolute legend, thank you so much. Steve G. Hi Adam, thanks for all the great and informative videos. As an old and long time ago electrician, it's always good to see the latest ways of working and installation methods. When my current 5-year-old EV charger finally gives up, I'll be sure to give you a shout to come and replace it for a new one. Assuming you'll support the East Midlands, Nottingham. Absolutely, I tend to find myself up there all of the time. See you soon, hopefully. Right, we have a long one here from Wayne Johns Photographer. Hi Adam, love your videos, always quality workmanship and professionalism all the way through. After 30 years of being a commercial photographer, I'm now considering to retrain as an electrician. I've always had an interest, but your channel is so inspirational it makes me want to push ahead with my decisions. I would love the opportunity to meet up with you in person, chat some electrical stuff and get your opinions and guidance. I live close to you in Southampton, so I could always pop along to meet you and buy you a coffee, that well-deserved coffee. I would really appreciate your input and direction, especially as I'll be self-funding. I think your work ethics are what a lot of industries are missing, quality craftsmanship and genuine care for both your work and your clients. Proud times. You can get in touch from my YouTube page or Instagram. Hope I get a chance to meet up for that coffee. Wayne, thank you so much. I have dropped you a personal message already, so if you haven't seen that, check out your Instagram. Next we have Tom Penty. Meet you at CEF Live, great man and love the content. Tom, top man. Sorry if I say this wrong, Chris, but next we have Chris Macri. Very useful tips on EV installations. Thank you so much. Ricky L. Thanks for great content, been very useful. 58-year-old apprentice on his 3rd attempt at AM2. Ricky, I hope you've got through the AM2, you absolutely deserve it, and I wish you all the best. Podelectrical.com. Thanks for advice on a pilot drill bit for a 28mm core bit. So many people have asked me about that core drill bit. It's brilliant. It's by Urbra, if that's how you say it. Definitely worth an investment. get yourself one, and thank you for that coffee. Mark Connolly bought me a coffee. Thank you so much, Mark. Really appreciate that. And finally, we have Jake Hughes. Thanks for the other day, RE Indra EV charger. No problem. Jake got in touch with me because it was like a Saturday morning, I think it was, and he was stuck on an EV charger. Just need a little bit of advice, and I managed to help him out. So if you do need some help like that, feel free to get in touch. I'll do my absolute best, but I can't obviously do everything all the time, but if I can help you, I certainly will. Thank you so much. So that's where I am with this van. It's a half work machine, a half home build kind of thing. Rough and ready, nothing fancy whatsoever, and I still have an awful lot of jobs to do. I have filmed everything that I've done so far, and if you want to see how I've done that, let me know in the comments below. And if you've got any specific features that you want to see or know about, let me know. Otherwise, subscribe to my channel.